Stop the Nazi games indeed. Hello to you all from the beautiful city of Maastricht. Ja mensen, we zijn er weer. Gisteren hadden we eventjes technische mankementen, maar we zijn er weer. En we streamen live vanuit het mooie Maastricht. En natuurlijk gaan we kijken naar binnenlands en buitenlands politiek. So we're going to look at politics within the Netherlands and outside of the Netherlands, right? And let's start with Wilders. Yeah, Wilders is one of the people that, you know, are in a coalition. Basically, they're still forming a coalition, and yeah, as I've said before, one of the political parties stepped out, the NSC, from Pieter Omtzigt, and we're going to take a look at Wilders and see what he has to say about the formation of the new cabinet. Ja, we gaan even kijken naar Wilders. En even kijken of we dat filmpje naar voren kunnen halen. Wacht even hoor. Technische mankementen. Kan gebeuren. Hoe was jullie dag vandaag? Wilders. Eventjes opzoeken. Dat had ik eigenlijk al moeten doen, maar goed. Ik wil wel het hele clip hebben en niet 5 minuten of zo. Kijken bij de geschiedenis misschien. So we're looking up Wilders. And yeah, it's not really professional of me, but we found the video clip of Wilders, and he's talking about the new formation of the new cabinet, right? So let's take a look at Geert Wilders. So, and he's going to talk about the formation and how it's all going.
Dankjewel. Bijna 3 maanden geleden waren er verkiezingen en Nederland heeft dringend een nieuw kabinet nodig. Ons land kent grote problemen en moet bestuurd worden. En de kiezer heeft in november de PVV de grootste partij van Nederland gemaakt en een duidelijke voorkeur uitgesproken voor centrumrechts beleid. Dus wat een enorme teleurstelling dat we hier vandaag staan zonder dat de opdracht waarmee informateur Plasterk op pad is gestuurd tot een goed einde is gebracht. Wat een enorme teleurstelling dat de heer Omtzigt vorige week dinsdag ineens wegliep. Ik begrijp daar nog steeds helemaal niets van. En ik sta hier vandaag, voorzitter, echt niet om zwarte pieten uit te delen. Maar voor iemand die de instituties van Nederland hoog in het vaandel heeft staan, zegt te hebben...
So the guy you just saw was Pieter Omtzigt, right? One of the coalition partners. And Wilders is saying the Dutch voted for a center-right cabinet. And Omtzigt is not working with the formation. Actually, Omtzigt left the formation, right, with a car from the informateur, the guy who informs the new cabinet, right? And one of the famous Dutch people, Harry Vermegen, talks about that. And we're going to take a look at that. The first is.
Hebben staan is het per appje afhaken nadat de pers eerst wel is geïnformeerd in godsbe. Zo ga je niet met het instituut informateur om en trouwens ook niet met je onderhandelingspartners. En het weglopen, voorzitter, was bovendien totaal onnodig. We moeten verdorie verantwoordelijkheid nemen. We moeten de belangrijkste problemen van Nederlanders, die schreeuwen om een oplossing, aanpakken en oplossen. De gigantische asielinstroom moet snel worden beperkt. Er moeten, als de Wiederweerga, meer woningen worden gebouwd. Nederland moet veiliger worden. Politiek is keuzes maken. Verantwoordelijkheid nemen. Anders krijgen dadelijk de linkse grillen en fratsen van Frans Timmermans dadelijk nog het voortouw. En dan, voorzitter, is het einde zoek en wordt Nederland één groot asielzoekerscentrum.
Een vraag van de heer Jette.
So basically, Wilders says we need a center-right cabinet, otherwise we get the other dude, what's his name, Timmermans, and then we will have one big refugee center in the Netherlands. So when Harry Vermegen was talking about Omtzigt, Omtzigt and the other political candidates were in a hotel somewhere, right, discussing stuff. And you also had a guy who made a formation, right, the informateur. Yeah. So, and he has his own car, right? And Omtzigt said, I have to go. Can I borrow your car? Really, it's like, oh my God, man. And then he went to a hotel, and then he went to the media instead of, talking with the coalition partners. So we're going to take a look at Harry Vermegen, which comments on Omtzigt. Nou mensen, we gaan even Harry Vermegen kijken, zo tussendoor. Even kijken hier. Omtzigt en het dienstauto van Plasterk.
Ja, vrienden, debat gezien? Ja, die Plasterk. Ja, die gaf ons even een lesje in hoe je heel achterloos wraak kunt nemen. Ja, dat deed hij gewoon. Op die Omtzigt. Ja, want hij zei dan van, ja, ik denk niet dat het heel indiscreet is om dit te delen wat hij ging zeggen. En hij vertelde gewoon dat die Omtzigt, ja, dat is ongelooflijk ook. Als je het gemist hebt, dan geloof je het gewoon niet. Die Omtzigt, die vroeg op een gegeven moment aan Plasterk of hij de dienstauto van de informateur mocht hebben. Ja, want die krijgt dan een dienstauto, die Plasterk, voor die periode. Nou, zegt de Plasterk, ja goed, als jij even snel weg moet. Ja, hij moest even snel weg. Nou, en waar ging hij heen? Hij ging met die dienstauto, die Omtzigt, naar dat hotel Postillon in Den Haag. En daar zag hij dan die 3 verslaggevers om te vertellen dat hij ging stoppen met de formatie. Hé, hoe vind je hem? Is dat eventjes...
Hoe vind je het? Ik vind hem aso. Zo, Omtzigt, dat doe je toch niet? Iemand die allerlei instanties hoog in de vaandel heeft en zoiets allemaal. Ja, en dan ga je even een dienstauto lenen van de informateur. Dat kan toch niet waar zijn? So, this is very sad that Omtzigt took the car of Ronald Plasterk, the information guy. There is an English term for that, but and he just left. Bye, and all these other people, Wilders, Jezielkes, and Caroline van der Plas, they were sitting there. They were like, what happened here? Yeah. And Omtzigt was on TV. So this is all happening, people. Ja, we doen het even in het Engels voor het internationale publiek, natuurlijk. Zodat ze een beter inzicht hebben over wat er gebeurt in Nederland. So that is Harry Vermegen talking about the car of Plasterk. And we're going to go back to Wilders. So here we have Geert Wilders. And the first question is going to come.
Ja, voorzitter, dit is...
Oh no, that is Rob Jetten. Oh my God. If there is ever a rainbow politician, that is this guy here. He's openly gay and stuff. Not that anything is wrong with being gay, but he's pushing the gay LGBTQ agenda and stuff like that. So.
Het toontje dat we de afgelopen weken ook via social media hebben gezien, dat heeft denk ik ook niet bijgedragen aan vertrouwen aan die onderhandelingstafel. Maar de heer Wilders weet al sinds 10 januari dat de NSC-fractie niet bereid is om deel te nemen aan een meerderheids- of een minderheidscoalitie. Dat was namelijk een conclusie na het afronden van die basislijn. Dus mijn vraag aan de heer Wilders is, wat heeft hij nou sinds 10 januari zelf als leider van de grootste partij bedacht om uit deze impasse te komen?
Thank you, Barry Henderson, for giving some info.
Nou, ik zal dadelijk met een concreet voorstel komen, voorzitter. Maar wij zijn aan tafel blijven zitten omdat de PVV geen partij van weglopers is. Wij blijven zitten. Wij nemen onze verantwoordelijkheid. De kiezer heeft, of u dat nou leuk vindt of niet, de PVV de grootste partij van Nederland.
Het is toch ongelooflijk. Ja, in 2010 had je dus Rutte 1. Weet je nog? En dan gingen ze aan de formatietafel en zoiets allemaal. Wie liep ook alweer weg? De VVD heeft het verweten. Hè? Ja, jullie liepen toen weg. Wie liep ook weer weg? En dan zegt Wilders van, wij lopen niet weg hoor. Nee, we blijven. So Wilders is saying, we're still forming a cabinet, we're not walking away. But in 2010, with Rutte 1, right, you also had Wilders, and Wilders walked away, just like Omtzigt did.
Gemaakt. Er hebben 2,5 miljoen mensen op ons gestemd. En toen de heer Omtzigt inderdaad zei, nadat wij met z'n allen die verklaring over rechtsstatelijk hadden ondertekend en terugkwam en zei, nou ja, het is voor ons toch niet genoeg, ja, was dat natuurlijk enorm teleurstellend. Dat is iets wat je niet verwacht. Maar hij zei er wel bij dat die andere opties, zoals gedoogsteun verlenen aan een minderheidskabinet, een extra parlementair kabinet, een zakenkabinet, dat er andere opties waren. En daarom zijn wij blijven zitten. Wij zijn geen weglopers, wij zagen andere mogelijkheden en we zien die nog steeds.
Voorzitter, heeft de heer Wilders dan tijdens die weken sinds 10 januari, tijdens die onderhandelingen gesproken over mogelijke vormen die dan wel zouden kunnen?
Nee, voorzitter. Dat zal mijn voorstel, wat ik dadelijk doe met een voorstel voor een nieuwe informateur, zal precies daarover gaan, om dat wel te gaan doen. Omdat wij hadden afgesproken dat wij in deze ronde niet, dat was de opdracht van de Kamer, niet over de vorm mochten praten. We hebben ook toen u, dat kunt u ook zien in de stukken die de informateur heeft.
So he's talking about the form of the new cabinet, right? The new rules and stuff like that. And they were not allowed to talk about that. So the beginning phases of the government is first you talk with the informer. Barry gave the English word, and then you form a cabinet, right? So it's basically a power vacuum in the Netherlands.
Heeft meegestuurd toen de heer Omtzigt terugkwam van zijn overleg met zijn fractie en zei, nou ja, we accepteren die verklaring, maar niet regeren, maar wel wat ik net noemde, kunt u ook zien dat de conclusie is dat alle 4 partijen, ook die van de heer Omtzigt, hebben.
So basically you have a center-right coalition and one walked out of it, and now you have not enough seats to make a coalition, right? So then you get a cabinet with less power because you need 75 seats plus 1, right? And if you have 3 parties, then you have, I believe it's somewhere around the 68 or something like that. So that is not a majority.
Gezegd, we nemen dat voor kennisgeving aan en in de volgende fase, als we daar komen, dat is helaas niet gelukt, gaan we het over de vorm hebben. Ik denk ook, voorzitter, dat achteraf gezien is dat het makkelijk oordelen, maar dat wel een makke is geweest, dat je niet over de vorm mocht praten, terwijl je eigenlijk al heel snel in de gaten had dat de vorm het probleem was. Ik denk ook.
Ja, mensen, dit is toch gewoon koppijn, of niet? Eerst hebben we 9 maanden moeten wachten voor Rutte 4. En nu zitten we 3 maanden te wachten op Wilders. Ja, het zal die mensen allemaal rotzorg zijn. Snap je? Zij worden doorbetaald. Zij kunnen de rekening betalen. Regels voor jou, maar niet voor mij. Zo gaat het daar in Den Haag. Ja, het is triest. We worden geregeerd door monsters. Denk je nou echt dat deze mensen het beste met je voor hebben? Nee, natuurlijk niet. Die willen macht. Dat is wat ze willen. So these people want power, you know. These are very bad representatives of the Dutch population. So, anyway, enough about the Netherlands, right? Because we have other subjects. Now, Alexander, what's his name, died? Navalny? He died. And we're going to take a look at that. Duran talks about it. And Alexei Navalny dies in prison. And, nothing is said about González Lira. What was his name? González Lira, something like that. Right? Nothing's been said about that. Nothing's been said about Epstein or other people that have died in prison. No. But Navalny has died in prison, and therefore Putin has done that. Yeah, Putin is enemy number 1. So, this is all happening. We're going to take a look at the Duran, which reports on Navalny. Alexei Navalny, there you go.
He's in prison.
Oh, we have to rewind. Ja, Alexei Navalny is dood. Ja, dat is een Russisch politicus. Die kwam ook naar Europa toe en dit en dat. Ja, dat was dus de oppositie van Poetin. Ja, en dat is toch wel heel frappant. Want de verkiezingen komen eraan in Rusland. So we have Russian elections coming up, and the political opposition is now dead.
In and around this breaking news story, but let's discuss it. Alexei Navalny has died in prison, in a Russian prison. He was 47, and the reports are right now, and I stress this right now, the reports are that he died of a blood clot. This could change with more with time and with more investigation. But as of this moment that we're recording this video on a Friday afternoon, the cause of death appears to be a blood clot. Look, NATO is saying that they want answers to this question. I've already seen some tweets. They want answers to the circumstances around his death. I'm already seeing tweets from various European government officials saying that Russia is to blame and Putin killed Navalny. We're going to get a lot of this now. You've covered Navalny pretty extensively. What are your thoughts about this? What does this mean going forward? Your reaction?
Of course, the first thing to say when anybody dies is that this is a tragedy for him, and it's a tragedy for his family, and one has to always remember that. I mean, whatever your personal views about Navalny, I mean, this is a tragedy for them, and one has to think about those people at this time. But we are a geopolitical channel. We have to deal with the geopolitical and political implications of this. The first thing to say is that Navalny has died. He's died young, and there will be questions. And logically, there ought to be an autopsy and an investigation. But whatever that investigation produces, even if third parties were to participate in it, as night follows day, the narrative that we will be getting in the West is that he has been murdered by the Russian authorities on Putin's orders. I mean, that is going to be what they're all going to say. And it's...
Of course, Putin did it, right? Putin, Putin, bad Putin, bad. Vladimir Putin, you are bad. Now, answer me this, right? Navalny has been in Russia for quite a while. Why would Putin assassinate a political opposition in prison whilst he had like years before, to kill him? Hoe kan het nou dat Poetin al die tijd Navalny in het land heeft gelaten, niks aan de hand, Navalny komt in de gevangenis terecht, in één keer dood, ja, Poetin heeft het gedaan. Poetin, fout. Maar er wordt niks gezegd over Gonzalo Lira. Gonzalo Lira was an American journalist that died in Ukraine. Here we have Gonzalo Lira, filmmaker, blogger, and more, right? He has died in an Ukrainian jail. Ja, Gonzalo Lira is doodgegaan in een Oekraïense gevangenis. In Kharkiv. Ja, daar zat hij dus vast. Let's take a look at this here. Gonzalo Lira, a 55-year-old Chilean American filmmaker and YouTuber, died in a Kharkiv hospital in Ukraine on January 11, 2024. He was detained by the Security Service of Ukraine in May 2023 for allegedly violating his prohibition and spreading pro-Russian content that justified Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Lira gained a following posting pro-Russian content that justified Putin's invasion of Ukraine, which was a criminal offense under Ukrainian law. Dus dit is gebeurd. Hij was aan de kant van Rusland. Ja, dan beland je in de gevangenis en ook nog eens dood. Ja. Maar dan vraag ik me af, hoe kan het nou? Een Amerikaanse journalist is dood. Chileens-Amerikaans journalist is dood. En daar geven wij dan steun aan als Nederland zijnde. Je zou op zijn minst Kamervraag hierover moeten hebben. Op zijn minst. Nou, dat gebeurt niet. Nee, boeien. Boeien. Het is toch maar een blogger. Nou. So, the parliament in the Netherlands should ask questions about this. Gonzalo Lira, right, an American journalist, filmmaker, and blogger. So, you know, but is there blame to give to Putin? Did Putin do this? Gonzalo Lira, did he kill Gonzalo Lira? I don't think so. You know, but people tend to forget. So, even kijken naar de commentaar. Okay. So, you know, this is happening. And we didn't even talk about Khashoggi. You guys remember him? Khashoggi? Let's look it up. Khashoggi. Now, Khashoggi is from, or was from Saudi Arabia, right? And he wanted to get married. And he went to an embassy in Turkey, and he never came back. He never came back. Now, Trump wanted information about this. It was never leaked why he was killed or anything like that. So we're going to take a look at Khashoggi. We will never forget. So here we have Khashoggi, killing Jamal Khashoggi, how a brutal Saudi hit job unfolded. So we're going to take a look at this here.
There were 15 of them. Most arrived in the dead of night, laid their trap, and waited for the target to arrive. That target was Jamal Khashoggi, a prominent Saudi critic of his country's government and its young crown prince.
He is creating an environment of intimidation and fear. Saudis are being silenced.
Since his killing in Istanbul, Turkish media has released a steady drip feed of evidence implicating Saudi officials. Weeks of investigation by the Times builds on that evidence and reconstructs what unfolded hour by hour. Our timeline shows the ruthless efficiency of a hit team of experts that seemed specially chosen from Saudi government ministries. Some had links to the Crown Prince himself. After a series of shifting explanations, Saudi Arabia now denies that this brazen hit job was premeditated. But this reconstruction of the killing and the botched cover-up calls their story into serious question. It's Friday morning, September 28th. Khashoggi and his fiancée, Hatice Cengiz, are at the local marriage office in Istanbul. In order to marry, he's told that he needs Saudi paperwork and goes straight to the consulate to arrange it. They tell him to return in a week. It all seems routine, but it's not. Inside, there's a Saudi spy, Ahmad al-Muzaini, who's working under diplomatic cover. That very day, he flies off to Riyadh and helps concoct a plan to intercept Khashoggi when he returns to the consulate. Fast forward to Monday night into Tuesday morning. Saudi agents converge in Istanbul aboard separate flights. Muzaini, the spy, flies back from Riyadh. A commercial flight carries a three-man team that we believe flew from Cairo. Two of the men are security officers, and they've previously travelled with the Crown Prince. A private jet flying from Riyadh lands around 3:30 a.m. That plane is often used by the Saudi government. And it's carrying 9 Saudi officials, some who play key roles in Khashoggi's death. We'll get to Team 3 later on, and for now, focus on these men from Team 2. This is Salah Al-Tubeji, a high-ranking forensics and autopsy expert in the Saudi Interior Ministry. Turkish officials will later say his role was to dismember Khashoggi's body. Another is Mustafa Al-Madani, a 57-year-old engineer. As we'll see, it's no accident that he looks like Khashoggi. And this is Maher Mutreb, the leader of the operation. Our investigation into his past reveals a direct link between Mutreb and the Saudi Crown Prince. When bin Salman toured a Houston neighborhood earlier this year, we discovered that Mutreb was with him, a glowering figure in background. We found him again in Boston, at a UN meeting in New York, in Madrid, and Paris too. This global tour was all part of a charm offensive by the prince to paint himself as a moderate reformer. Back then, Mutreb was in the Royal Guard. Now he would orchestrate Khashoggi's killing. And his close ties to the Crown Prince beg the question, just how high up the Saudi chain of command did the plot to kill go? Early Tuesday morning, Khashoggi flies back from a weekend trip to London. He and the Saudis nearly cross paths at the airport. The Saudi teams check into 2 hotels, which give quick access to the consulate. Khashoggi heads home with his fiancée. He'd just bought an apartment for their new life together. By mid-morning, the Saudis are on the move. Mutreb leaves his hotel 3 hours before Khashoggi is due at the consulate. The rest of the team isn't far behind. The building is only a few minutes away on foot, and soon they're spotted at this entrance. Mutreb arrives first. Next, we see Al-Tubeji, the autopsy expert, and Al-Madani, the lookalike. The stage is almost set. A diplomatic car pulls out of the consulate driveway and switches places with a van, which backs in. Turkish officials say this van would eventually carry away Khashoggi's remains. From above, we can see the driveway is covered, hiding any activity around the van from public view. Meanwhile, Khashoggi and his fiancée set out for the consulate, walking hand in hand. In their final hour together, they chat about dinner plans and new furniture for their home.
Very sad to see that this guy has died, right? And that the Saudis were busy killing this guy. Echt triest om te zien dat deze gast dood is gegaan en dat de Saoedische inlichtingendienst deze gast heeft omgelegd. Ja, en waarom? Je hebt kritiek tegen het Koningshuis. En wat is de kritiek eigenlijk tegen het Koningshuis? Waar had die kritiek op? Nou, er is iets dat heet The Line. The Line, Saudi Arabia. There we go. So, it is known that Khashoggi was against the Line, which is one big smart city, basically, and a very long city and stuff like that. We're going to take a look at a few minutes of this here. The Saudi Crown Prince is one of the guys that is leading this.
The population going to jump in Saudi Arabia from today 33 million, in 2030 something between 50 to 55 million. So in 2030 we're going to reach the full capacity of the existing infrastructure of Saudi Arabia. That's raises very important question that we need to create new city.
I can't think of anybody that wouldn't want to be part of this project. It's going to be, without a question, the single most extraordinary piece of work that begins in the first quarter of the 21st century.
My immediate reaction was, what the hell is this?
There is a sort of moral atmosphere at the moment. You shouldn't be too clever, you shouldn't be too experimental, you shouldn't, don't do anything too funky. I came out of a funky period.
If we look at the 20th century, we were really excited about the future. There was that kind of post-war idea that we could create a better, more democratic world. Those visions were very bold.
I still like it just because it's beautiful.
Throughout all of history, we've actually seen people, dreamers, thinkers who've wanted to create those visions of how we might live in the future.
The world is stuck in a traffic jam. The world is screwed by the lack of social interaction. The world talks about cities, but in reality, the world is talking about the slums. When they say energy, they mean pollution. The world needs a reset.
So NEOM is one of the people or companies that are, putting money into the line, right? There is a shorter video. I think it's this one here.
In January of this year, the Saudi Arabian Crown Prince announced an immense new development project that is supposed to set a blueprint for the future of his country and the world.
اليوم بصفتي رئيس مجلس إدارة نيوم نقدم لكم the line.
He announced that the kingdom will build a city that stretches along a single 100-mile-long line.
Now we know that Khashoggi was against the line, right? He thought it was a very bad idea. And well, he went to Turkey and de Khashoggi was hier tegen, hè, tegen de hele lijn, tegen het hele smart city en zo. Ja, en uiteindelijk is hij dood. Hij heeft niet kunnen trouwen of zoiets, nee. We hebben het zo net gezien. Dus ja, als je kritiek uit ten opzichte van een bepaalde idee of zoiets, nou, dan ben je een doelwit. Ja, vooral in die landen. So when you criticize an idea, then you are a target, especially in these countries, right? You know, absolute king, and that prince guy, this guy here, is one of the princes. There are like 4 or 5, and I believe he's the oldest. Ik geloof dat dit de oudste is. Ze lijken allemaal op elkaar, man. Ze hebben allemaal een baard en zo'n tulband om. They all look alike, you know. They all have a beard and this here, this stupid hat, whatever it is, you know. So, is this the same guy? Who knows, right? Who knows? But anyway, they want to have a connection with Egypt.
The two islands, Tiran and Sanafir, were historically disputed between Egypt and Saudi Arabia. While Egypt has controlled them in the past, the Egyptian parliament approved the transfer of these islands to Saudi Arabia in 2017. This agreement paves the way for a causeway that would connect the two countries. As part of the NEOM project, a bridge is planned across the Tiran Strait.
So these are very bold plans for Saudi Arabia, right? And you know, they always get away with it, right? Look at 9/11. Now, Saudi Arabia, all the terrorists came from Riyadh, right? And so, you know, but they got away with it. Yeah, 28 pages were concealed for many, many years, and the financing of the terrorists was done by Saudi Arabia. Ja, het financieren van de terroristen met 9/11 is gedaan door Saudi-Arabië. Ja. We laten de 28 pagina's zien die al jarenlang niet vrijgegeven waren. Nou, nu kun je ze wel bekijken, maar destijds niet. Was de complottheorie dat Saudi-Arabië ook betrokken was met 9/11. Ja. So that's the line, right? And we're going to take a look at Al Jazeera. They have some interesting information about Senegal. Now, normally we don't really look at Senegal. You know, it's part of Africa, but still, for the people who do not know where Senegal is, Bin Laden was ook een Saoedi. Ja, dat klopt. Kijk maar naar de verbanden met de Carlyle Group in Halliburton. Vind je genoeg informatie. Oh, oops. So what's happening in Senegal? Senegal was seen as a stable African country, but it's not stable anymore because the elections were postponed, right? So here we have Senegal, there we go. And the elections were postponed and then they turned it back. You see, the Supreme Court said you're not allowed to postpone the elections, and then it was turned back. But we're going to take a look at what's happening in Senegal and see what the response is of the people. So.
We're in the neighborhood where there was supposed to be a peaceful, silent demonstration against President Sall's decision to delay the presidential elections. But look at it now. What we see are dozens of riot police battalions patrolling the streets. We've been asked twice to stop filming or to erase our footage. The organizers of the march say the demonstrations against President Macky Sall will go ahead at a later date. Meanwhile, the authorities have switched off mobile internet, or rather suspended it, saying that the internet is being used to spread hateful or divisive messages.
In confiscating the sovereign right of the people of choosing their president, Macky Sall has led the country to an impasse.
The United Nations Office for Human Rights has called for a full investigation over police violence that led to the death of 3 demonstrators. Meanwhile, the regional body ECOWAS has sent a mediation team to Senegal to bring an end to the political crisis.
Key to our declaration is that of asking for calm and restraint to avoid using any form of discourse that could lead to violence and create tensions in the country.
While the West African body ECOWAS fears that the instability in what is normally known as the most stable democracy in the region could have a domino effect in the region, President Macky Sall says this is a political crisis that will be resolved domestically. On Wednesday, he's holding a cabinet meeting where there will be announcements made to appease this crisis. He's calling on national dialogue. Nicholas Hawke, Al Jazeera, Dakar.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to
Now, this was 2 days ago, right? Dit is 2 dagen geleden. Eigenlijk hadden de verkiezingen al moeten zijn. Maar ja, de president heeft dat dus tegengehouden. Het Hoge Gerechtshof, die zegt van, we moeten de verkiezingen door laten gaan. Al is de datum verstreken. En ja, dat is een beetje de impasse waar dus Senegal mee leeft. Ja. Ook daar zien we een political deadlock. There is a political deadlock in Senegal, and it's basically the same over here in the Netherlands. Ja, ook hier hebben we een machtsvacuüm en dat wordt maar niet gevuld. So we have a power vacuum here in the Netherlands and it's still not filled. The thing about Al Jazeera, they give good information, right? But they are anti-Russia. Don't ask me why. Qatar and Russia, but they are very anti-Russia, especially after the invasion of Ukraine. So let's take a look at what's happening in Gaza.
يعني احنا بشر، يعني مش عارف ايش اقول لك، يعني ما فيش ضل الا ناكل الرمل. يعني هيا انا بنقي خبيزه دي عيش في بريه تطلع بس في الشتاء.
بدنا ناكل، اكلنا حماد رحنا ناكل من الشجر.
بطعم اولادي وطعم امي ختيار يعني كبيره في السن.
I want to feed my children and my elderly mother, and these people have no land to farm on. Or they do have land, but they're being chased away. Very, very sad to see what's happening.
فبدها تاكل، ايش بدنا ناكل؟ ما في شيء في السوق، لا في خبز، لا في طحين.
No flour, no bread. There are also severe shortages of clean drink water. It's really, really sad to see what's happening.
كمان المي قطعوها عنا من غزة، يعني المي بالعافية لما بنعبي وبنغسلها من الرمال ومن القرف.
Can you imagine that, right? You have a strip of land where you cannot escape, and you have these people standing in front of the gates, and the humanitarian aid is not coming to Gaza because of these people. Not only because of these people, right? There are many, many reasons. Heel erg triest. Dus al die Israëlische mensen hier zo, die staan dan voor de hekken van Gaza om te voorkomen dat ze humanitaire hulp krijgen. Echt, wat is het voor een wereld? I question what kind of world is this, Very, very sad to see what's happening. But we're just giving a perspective. We have Donald Trump going live. I don't know where it is, but we're going to take a look.
Entirety right here on Newsmax 2. But to bring you up to speed on the ruling that was handed down just a little while ago by New York Judge Arthur Engoron, President Trump ordered to pay nearly $355 million in penalties. He is temporarily banned from running the company that bears his name, and he is not happy about it, calling it a total sham. The judge's 92-page ruling also ordered President Trump's sons, Don Jr. and Eric Trump, to pay $4 million apiece And Alan Weisselberg has to fork over $1 million. Weisselberg is the ex-Trump Organization's chief financial officer. Also reading from the ruling here, the order barred Trump from serving as a corporate officer or a director of a company in New York for 3 years. His sons are banned for 2 years. And the Trumps did avoid what they call the corporate death penalty. And Engoron apparently declined to revoke the Trump Organization's certificate to do business permanently in New York. Well, I want to bring into the conversation another great attorney and legal mind, Barak Lurie. Barak, good to have you with us here on this breaking news day.
It's going to take a while when Trump is going to give a speech. It's at 12 o'clock my time, 6 o'clock your time. Ja, om 12 uur geeft Trump een speech. En we hebben zo net gehoord wat er met Trump gaande is. Ja, moet heel veel geld gaan betalen en dit en dat. Ja, ze proberen Trump kapot te maken. They're trying to stop Trump in every way possible. Right? They do not want Trump back as president. So they're trying to stop him every way possible.
For his arguably doing a bad thing, kind of like a speeding ticket, even though you didn't create an accident, they could argue that. But it still has to fit some sort of actual damage that would come into play here. And the banks, of course, didn't have any actual damage. Nobody was hurt here whatsoever. So the only conclusion one can draw from this is that they want to hobble Trump in every way possible so that it makes it that much more difficult for him to cross the finish line come November of 24.
That does seem to be the issue here. Who exactly was damaged in this? And the answer is nobody. There were no victims of this.
You heard it from me. You know, they're trying to get him every way possible. And this guy here says exactly the same. You know, ze proberen Trump aan te pakken op elke manier mogelijk. En deze gast hieronder zegt precies hetzelfde als wat ik zeg. Ja, ze willen Trump niet als president hebben. They do not want Trump as president.
All right, so let's look ahead. Let's look down the road here. What happens next? It's a civil fraud verdict. Can the president appeal this?
Oh, for sure, he'll appeal it. He'll appeal to the highest court of appeals in New York, and then if that doesn't work out well, he'll appeal to the United States Supreme Court. It has to happen. This is the reason why we have appellate courts, precisely because these judges often run amok. And look, a judge is always defined and evaluated based upon his appellate record. How often does he get reversed? And sometimes a judge will say, look, I know I'm going to get reversed, but I'm still going to do this anyway for whatever reason. And in this case, this judge, Erdogan, he decided that he wants to go forward with this. He wants to make a name for himself. He wants to.
Erdogan? I thought he was president. Oh, well, it's a famous name.
To impede the Trump train here. That's all he's doing. And he doesn't mind that he's going to be appealed. He knows he will be appealed and he will be reversed.
Brock, I'm just curious, when you're sitting around.
Let's hope so. Let's hope it will be reversed, right? So let's take a look at Soup Mama, who is in Palestine, or was in Palestine, streamed 55 minutes ago. And who else was in Palestine? Anyone? Anyone know? No? Joe Biden was in Palestine, Ohio, right? Not in the Middle East. In Ohio, you had a train derailment, and we have a lot of patriotic people that are for Trump. We're going to take a look at this here.
Yeah, I'm right down here by Columbia County.
Beautiful, beautiful. So we got you on some tripods. We're probably going to move you around so I can give you some better views.
Oh,
Good morning, good morning.
Dus Soepmama official is in East Palestine. En ja, Biden die ging er ook naartoe. En een jaar later, na de treinontsporing, daar gaan we ook zo naar kijken. Maar er is een groepje mensen die dus met Trump-vlaggen staat.
I'm gonna run up to my truck really fast. I'll be right back. Okay. And then we'll probably move the tripod so we can see more
out
of
there.
the stuff.
I'm moving now.
See this way.
So, yeah, I don't know if you want to move them, like maybe over here by like the yellow car.
Angle them down.
Point one. You know what I mean? We can point them in.
All right. Hi, everybody. It's the dreaded chicken lady. Good. Oh, sorry, guys. That was a little bit shaky.
I'll be right back, Kayla.
Okay. I'm going to grab the other tripod.
Yeah.
We're going to skip through some...
Spectrum.
There we go.
Yeah, it's not...
Now, here we have a lot of people for Trump, and Biden is coming into East Palestine. Very interesting to see how this will end, right? Let's see.
Not only do they feel abandoned, but they're bringing, you guys are chanting for the border, close the border. They're saying, let's go, Brandon, close the border. So even in here in East Palestine, where you have people that have been abandoned by Joe Biden, they still get that the border is such a significant.
I don't want to be in your shot. I was like, we'll get a front row seat. Go ahead. So I just moved it so we're good.
Awesome.
No, I have no idea who that guy is, but it's not Joe Biden. He can't even complete a sentence. Geen idee wie dit is. Maar het is niet Joe Biden. Die kan ons niet eens een zin zeggen. Kijk, Soepmama is live again.
Go get warm. Again, guys, this is where they wouldn't let us walk down the street over here. So we're coming down the back alley. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We really do appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat here. Thank you so much. I don't know.
He's got to come this way. What other way can he go?
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but I want to get in my truck where it's warm.
He's right there's the Secret Service. The guy that talks to him, so he's literally right here.
Yeah, he's got to be.
Trump got you on that.
Oh, yeah, I hear it. All right, guys, we're going to show you as much as we can from here. Okay, is there any way to get to our...
My truck's right over there.
Yeah, our vehicles are this way.
This way? Yep. Cool, thank you.
All right, awesome, thank you.
He's going to come down here.
Yeah, probably. That's what it's looking like. All right, well, maybe what I'll do is, if you want to go get your truck or whatever, I'm going to...
I can't do it because you got that shit tied to my
Yeah,
Oh, they have it tied on your truck?
Yeah.
Oh.
1820.
So we're going to take a look at what happened in East Palestine. We're going to take a look at why these people are in East Palestine protesting against Biden, and we're going to take a look at what happened in East Palestine 1 year ago. Ja, hier hebben we East Palestine in Ohio. En ja, het is een hele grote ramp. Ja, en de mensen hebben er nu nog last van. Het water is niet gezond meer. Het stinkt helemaal. We gaan even hier naar kijken.
On the evening of Friday, February 3rd, 2023, 38 of 149 cars of a Norfolk Southern Railway freight train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio. 5 of the derailed cars were carrying vinyl chloride, a hazardous material that built up pressure in the resulting fires, eventually leading Norfolk Southern to vent and burn it in a bid to prevent an explosion. The ensuing fireball and cloud brought the normally unseen process of hazardous cargo transportation into a single chilling view, and the event became a lightning rod of controversy over rail industry regulations, federal involvement in chemical spills, and much more. I don't know about you, but in the flurry of political headlines and finger-pointing, I kind of lost the story of what actually happened. Freight trains, like the one that derailed in East Palestine, are fascinating feats of engineering, and the National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB, and others have released preliminary reports that contain some really interesting details. I'm not the train kind of engineer, but I think I can help give some context and clarity to the story now that some of the dust has settled. I'm Grady, and this is Practical Engineering. In today's episode, we're talking about the East Palestine train derailment. Modern freight trains are integral to daily life for pretty much everybody. Look around you and chances are nearly every human-made object you see has, either as bulk raw materials or even as finished goods, spent time on the high iron. One of the reasons trains are so integral to our lives is because there's nothing else that comes even close to their efficiency in moving cargo over land at such a scale. Steel wheels on steel rails waste little energy to friction, especially compared to rubber tires on asphalt. Locomotives may look huge, but their engines are almost trivial compared to the enormous weight they move. If a car were so efficient, its engine could practically fit in your pocket. And yet, the trains those locomotives pull are not so much just a vehicle as they are a moving location, larger and heavier than most buildings. With this scale in mind, you can see why the crew in a locomotive can't monitor the condition of all the cars behind them without help. A rear view mirror doesn't do you much good when part of your vehicle is a half-hour's walk behind you. There was a time not too long ago when every freight train had a caboose. Part of their purpose was to have a crew at the end of the train who could help keep a lookout for problems with the equipment. Now, modern railways have replaced that crew with wayside defect detectors. These are computerized systems that can monitor passing trains and transmit an automated message to the crew over the radio, letting them know the condition of their train in real time.
CSX detector, milepost 756.8. You have a defect.
Defect detectors look for lots of issues that can lead to derailment or damage, including dragging equipment, overheight or overwidth cars, a hazard if the train will be passing through tunnels or under bridges, and, important in this case, overheating axles and bearings. Depending on the railway operator and line, these detectors are often spaced.
So there you have it, right? A very large explanation of what happened, the train derailment. This is why Soup Mama is in Ohio trying to confront Biden. Now let's take a look at Soup Mama again. She is talking to a police officer. Soup Mama die zit dus in East Palestine met de politie te praten. We gaan even geluid aanzetten.
So, when you come at somebody with compassion and understanding and love and you're not screaming at them, it makes it a lot harder for them to be a jerk to you. You know? So, again, it's just absolutely amazing. Oh, sorry, guys. Yours is a lot heavier than mine. But again, guys, apparently we're candle shopping here in town. And of course, the roads are all blocked off where we're all parked for the day. So we can't even get to our warm vehicles because Biden wanted to buy a candle. So this is super exciting. I'm glad he's supporting small businesses. As a one good thing he did today is show up to support a small business. I guess we have to look at the silver lining here.
Biden is there just to save face, right? Like, oh, I'm doing something now, you know. We have the elections coming up. He's just there to save face. Ja, Biden is alleen daar om zijn eigen hachie te redden. En dan gaat hij ook nog een kaars kopen en zulke dingen allemaal. Het is echt... rules for thee, but not for me, right? So, we've been streaming for more than an hour. And we are going to shut down. There's a lot more to tell. We will be back on Sunday, hopefully. And we'll see each other then. We're going to close off with Ollie the Octopus.
This is the scene over South London. I'm here in Fulham. It's the 10th of August, and look what we have flying around. Strangely enough, if that bus will get out of the way. There we go. Apache helicopters circling.
Apache helicopters circling London and its boroughs. You know, there was a riot, and a lot of stores were smashed up and lots of stuff was stolen. So we're going to take a look at Boris Johnson, who was then the mayor of London, right? And he was there for a photo op. This is how it goes, right? You know, leaders come and, you know, go to some place where there's an incident or riots or whatever, you know, and they come there to save face, right? Remember this.
How'd you make your hair so silky, Boris? Salon selected. Let Boris speak. Let Boris speak.
Thank you. You are the true spirit of this city.
In the streets of London, the peace has been disturbed. Fires burning everywhere, the language of the unheard. There's a generation thwarted with no ownership and pride, and fat cats with bellies as wide as the rich and poor divide. A broken social contract, bottom up austerity. Oh, we can condemn it, but we're paying attention now, aren't we? We'll blame it on the hoodies, blame it on the feral youth. But remember, you were young once and you cared about the truth. We sold out to the free market, made a couple of billionaires, and all we got was this mess and McDonald's everywhere. Keep unemployment high, keeps the cost of labour low, keeps young men out on the streets, and well, what do you know? Down to Dixon's, you can take some stuff for free. You can get an Apple Mac and a high-def TV. But if you work in Canary Wharf in a bank too big to fail, there's much better looting going on, and you don't have to go to jail. Steal from a generation for the pockets of a few, but it can only go so far, and you're paying attention now, aren't you? Of London, the peace has been disturbed. Fires burning everywhere, the language of the unheard. There's a generation thwarted with no ownership and pride, and fat cats with bellies as wide as the rich and poor divide. A broken social contract, bottom up austerity. Oh, we can condemn it, but we're paying attention now, aren't we? We'll blame it on the hoodies, blame it on the feral youth. But remember, you were young once and you cared about the truth. We sold out to the free market, made a couple of billionaires, and all we got was this mess and McDonald's everywhere. Keep unemployment high, keeps the cost of labor low, keeps young men out on the streets, and well, what do you know? Down to Dixon's, you can take some stuff for free. You can get an Apple Mac and a high-def TV. But if you work in Canary Wharf in a bank too big to fail, there's much better looting going on, and you don't have to go to jail. Steal from a generation for the pockets of a few, but it can only go so far, and you're paying attention now, aren't you?
Now, are we paying attention? Are we really paying attention? Well, these are very weird times. And let's take a look at this here. Relax, I'm a woman. Yeah, now in these times, you can say you're a woman whilst you're a man. Ja, nu in deze tijden kun je zeggen van ja, ik ben een vrouw, hè, terwijl je gewoon een man bent. Vreemde tijden waar we in leven. Goed, we sluiten af. En we are going to close down and we'll see each other Sunday. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe if you're first viewer, right? First time viewer. We'll see each other Sunday.